Oh, hey guys. Yeah, been just a little while. I know, surprise, surprise. It's just what I do at this point. So, hey everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Sin, and today we are going over a few different things, as always. But primarily, we're going to be talking about the completion of my 5-book series, The Shattered Legacy. So, I can't believe this part, but going back, well, let's see, I think I started originally in January, that sounds about right, with a mediocre amount of effort going in, naturally, towards what was supposed to be book 4. Now, that I say because book 4 ended up being book 4 and 5. And that's because by the time I had finished what was supposed to just be 4, and I had a feeling it was going to be this case, but it ended up at 850 pages. So rather than doing a colossal book, which wouldn't really have fit with, the 520 pages for book 1, the 475 or so for book 2, the 425-ish for book 3, and then 850 for book 4, it just doesn't make any sense. So each of these two ended up about that 425 page mark each, as opposed to, again, that 850. So, super cool to think that at this point I do indeed have book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, and book 5 is kind of a miracle to me, because, again, going back, if you haven't followed any of this bit within the series, but I never wanted any. Wanted might be a strong stretch of the imagination, but I never intended on writing books in the first place, but that's just where we ended up at. So, to say now that, again, I have the completed series, well, again, it's pretty special and kind of cool. Now I have to be a big boy and stop procrastinating the hard part and the hard stuff, which is doing the whole marketing jazz and all of that, all of whatever that's supposed to mean. I've heard it helps you sell stuff, but I haven't put that into practice to see if that's actually how it works. Again, it's a concept, kind of like a concept of a concept, really, but we won't get into semantics. Point is, the Shattered Legacy series is something completely different. It's not like anything else you've ever read or will read. And I'm sure, again, everyone's going to be saying the same thing. All the people with all their books saying, "Oh, it's different." And of course, it's different in different tiny little ways. But I swear, mine's different. And one of the things that makes it that way is, again, the fact that this is all new to me, but in the best ways possible. So one of the things I do want to highlight is going into starting with book 4, but we do have. Wait for it. Alright, trying to look at the content, but we have illustrations. So we have illustrations, we have designs, we have my artworks throughout here in various different points that I'm pretty proud of, because I also spend way too many hours doing all of that stuff. I mean, seriously, like way too many hours. And I think really what ended up happening was I had did the artwork going back over the course of a few years now, just collectively over time. And really it was that I spent so much time doing it that I felt it criminal not to include it, because it was principle. I did it. I did all of it. And then for me not to do anything further in the now with it just felt wrong. So whether that's a win for you guys or not, I guess I can't really answer that, but to me it felt like a win, because who doesn't love a good piece of artwork, especially in a fantasy genre where, yeah, the imagination is super cool and all that. I mean, it's great, but wouldn't you rather just have the actual designs and ideas rather than filling in all the blanks with what could possibly be completely and totally wrong? I say that jokingly, but there was somebody who I had talked to about that had read through the first book, and the way that she had pictured the main character Zaxxum was well, I'll just quote it exactly. She pictured him looking like Hagrid. Yeah, that guy from Harry Potter. Now, there's no part of my descriptions that have, in my earnest, any overlap between Hagrid and, again, what I wrote. But interpretation, I guess. That all said, that will be within volumes 4 and 5, and I intend on making a version of each of the first 3 books that has illustrations included as well, because once again, I can't stress this enough, but I put way too many hours collectively into all of the art. So, why not put it to good use for you guys? I suppose just sort of like a last summary bit, so since I just wanted this kind of be the announcement for the completion of the series, but what I want you guys to know is that should you decide on picking up this series potentially, not only will it blow your mind, but really I think that you'll find a lot of things within here, to hit certain notes that really you might not expect. And in my, humble opinion, it has the best ending in anything ever. Strong statement, I know. But the only way you could possibly verify that with any version of truth, or your truth, would be to read them. So, it's not like I'm challenging you to do so, because that would be implying that I need to coerce you into action, which I don't feel is necessary at this point in time. That may change moving forward, but at present I'd like to think that I've got good faith in all of you, and until proven wrong, then we'll just leave it at that. So, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I know this is just sort of like a spitballer where I'm just sort of talking, saying things, but again, I just wanted to really highlight, again, my personal achievement, I guess.
Yeah, buddy!
Of actually doing this and having these done. It's taken over 2 years from the time I started book 1 to the time I finished with the 5th volume. And, any questions, comments below are absolutely welcome, because, if there's anything I can do to share aspects of my experience, or if you're considering doing something of your own, I would be more than happy to help in that in any way that I can, because the thing that I've learned throughout the process of all this, amongst many things, is just that there is no right or wrong way to do any of it. There's just not. And, as long as creativity has an outlet, then you're doing a service to yourself and potentially, far more people than you could possibly imagine. So thank you so much again for tuning in, and we'll see you again for the next video.